Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. Today I'm coming on with a general reading for our twin flame and or spiritual collective. So I'm going to use the oracle cards and the tarot cards to give us a sense of the energy coming through. So we have the Death card and the Justice. So I'm hearing no more. And I'm hearing this in the context of you ending a cycle, death to a cycle that was self-abandonment. It was a self-betrayal. And I really encourage you to feel into this, feel into not the shame necessarily, or I should rephrase that. Feel into whatever comes up, but we want to feel the shame, but we also want to feel the compassion that we have for ourselves. So, and I'm getting chills channeling into this. There's this titrating of the energy that needs to take place when we really dig deep into our inner feelings and the signals, the messages our body sends us through our feelings, through our emotions. So with the Death and the Justice card, there's something that needed to end. Maybe multiple times even, maybe cycles and cycles that just could no longer continue. And some of this requires you to approach it with a rational mind, with the Justice card, of knowing what is objectively right, what is the right thing to do, what is fair, what is the right way to treat yourself. But with the Devil card coming out, there's still this energy of, our inner demons, right? Like the temptations, those unhealthy patterns, the subconscious limiting beliefs. There's this energy of them needing to be relinquished, death to these cycles. And that can be extremely emotional, and it can be very ingrained in our bodies, these negative frequencies of shame or guilt, lack of self-worth. So you're being called to allow a balance between your heart and your mind in a way that's going to lead you towards self-love. Anything that feels like it's an abandonment of self or a betrayal of self, it's okay to feel into this. In fact, it will be extremely healing for you to do so. If you're in a situation that doesn't feel good, if you're being triggered, I invite you to feel into it. Where in your body does it not feel good? And what emotion or feeling is associated with that? Is it some feeling of shame? Is it some feeling of scarcity mindset, feeling like you can't have better in life, or feeling like you can't have more, or feeling some kind of grief or sadness of a loss, or feeling some kind of anger at some injustice? All of these patterns that operate on autopilot in our subconscious, with the Devil card, they're being brought to the surface, and with an objective mind and also a deep ability to feel openly and vulnerably, you can bring an end to these unhealthy, toxic cycles. Not because we never want to feel negative things, but because we don't want to betray ourselves in ways that lead to these negative frequencies. Now, we're also getting the Two of Cups, and I feel for this collective, and I'm getting chills channeling into this, you're going to be doing this work through some kind of relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, any relationship that's been triggering you in your life is here to teach you how to end a cycle. And if this is the Twin Flame Collective, I would love to hear from you in the comments, by the way. All of my messages are meant to reach whoever needs to hear it. And I'm really addressing the spiritual collective, which may include those who identify as twin flames. And if this resonates, I would love to hear from you, especially in these very chaotic energies that are really bringing about a lot of change and transformation. So with the Two of Cups, we're also getting the Fool and the Star. So I'm getting such strong chills here. It's this energy of these toxic cycles with the Death, the Justice, the Devil, these feelings that arose from repeatedly undergoing some kind of betrayal. It may on the surface feel like a betrayal from your person, from your twin flame, but ultimately there are patterns of self-betrayal and self-abandonment at its core, which are meant to be learned as some kind of karmic lesson. And then we're shifting to this beautiful energy of the Two of Cups, this union, this friendship, the Fool, the Star. It's like a new beginning, a fresh start, full of hope and optimism. And for a lot of this collective, you may not feel that. When you hear a new cycle of hope and optimism, it may bring you back to all of the past cycles that you thought were also going to be a new cycle, and then it turned unhealthy. And so then there's this kind of lack of trust and lack of hope. But ultimately, as we move forward on this path, I'm hearing keep going. Your angels and spirit guides, they want you to see each cycle for what it is. And rather than being hard on yourself, which many of this collective may be doing, rather than seeing it as repeated failures of a cycle over and over, see it as kind of this upward spiral where it feels like almost like a tornado, tracing the shape of a tornado from the ground to the sky. It feels like you're just going in a circle over and over again, but what's sometimes hard to see is that you are going up and up and up. You're raising your frequency with each cycle. And so, the Fool and the Star are coming up for you to remind you to keep that hope and keep that optimism as you begin a new cycle. And, these readings are really about you. I'm never trying to channel into any future predictions about your twin flame or the fact that you'll be in union or when you'll be in union or anything like this, and take the messages as they resonate. But the point here is that regardless of where you're at in some kind of separation or union with your twin flame or other person, if this is not a twin flame for you, but regardless of where you're at on this journey, this isn't about them. This isn't really even about the relationship in terms of the outcome of the relationship. This is about the relationship being a tool for you to continue to spiral upward. And it's the momentum that allows you to keep that upward spiral, to keep, it's like you wouldn't be able to go higher and higher if you weren't going in the circular movement. Again, as we're kind of tracing this metaphorical tornado, which maybe is a fitting analogy for some in this collective. But ultimately, if you're at the bottom and you're trying to get to the top, you have to take the motions of those circles, or like think of it as like a spiral staircase where you can't just go straight up. It's not like a staircase that's linear or that's in one straight line. It's a spiral staircase. So you are required to continue to go in those cycles. And think about this tornado or this spiral staircase as being placed in your life for some divine purpose. And it is your path, it is your mission to take those steps, to do that upward tracing, upward spiraling, and not in a way where we're like glamorizing the self-betrayal, but in a way where we recognize, okay, I've done this loop before and I'm going to do it of a higher frequency this time. I've done this cycle and I'm now going to do it in a way that's going to show myself and embody self-love rather than self-abandonment. So I know that the Two of Cups and the Fool and the Star are coming forth because the collective may be feeling like it's over and over the same cycles and that they're not growing or that it's stagnant, or maybe you even feel like you're taking steps backwards or downwards. But the Fool and the Star are here to show you that every new beginning you have is divinely orchestrated for your highest evolution possible. We're also getting the Ten of Wands here, and I want to pull into some oracle cards because I know that this journey has not been easy, especially if this is a twin flame collective. The Ten of Wands is that feeling of the burden being too too heavy to bear. And my cat is coming in to participate in this tarot reading. So the 10 of Wands is a very resonating energy with a lot of the Twin Flame Collective, because it feels like there's too much to carry. And I also want to extend this analogy into the analogy of the spiral staircase, which is that if you're carrying backpacks and bricks and all of these heavy burdens with you, a lot of it can be left behind. It can be dropped exactly where you're at right now, and you can continue to walk up this path. And so having the Star and the Fool with you and embodying the archetypes of these energies, it's such a lighthearted energy with the Fool and the Star. You know, there's no burdens to bear. There's no heavy energies dragging them down. So allow this to guide you as you encounter these periods of time or these phases where you just feel like there's too much to carry, or you feel like you're not making progress, or like the conflict is too triggering, or the growth is asking too much of you. All of these kind of discouraged, disempowered perspectives that we can often feel when we feel the physical burden, on an emotional, energetic, spiritual level, we feel these burdens. And our body can hold on to them often. And so that's why there's this call to feel into these cycles, feel into not just the shame, but the compassion as well, the hope, the optimism, the understanding that you deserve the highest compassion for all that you've endured, all the ways that you've grown. So let's pull some oracle cards here. We have anticipation and manifestation. Yeah, I'm feeling like this collective is waiting for their 3D reality to reflect the growth they've done. It's like you're waiting to get to that last staircase. But the message here is that the staircase itself is the most beautiful part of your journey, not some top step. The anticipation card says, something wonderful is happening. Change is in the air. Open yourself to blessings on their way. And the manifestation card says, your dreams have untold energy. Open the door and let them live. Desire and belief are your power. So yeah, there's this lighthearted energy here. There's this call for you to embody this lighthearted energy. This ability to open yourself to what's coming, to not feel that tight, kind of restricted energy that feels like you're waiting on something bigger or better than what you currently have, and that until you have that, you won't be happy. You know, release that heavy energy. Know that change is coming. Know that wonderful blessings are meant for you and finding their way to you. And keep this door open. Keep the door energetically open to your dreams, like knowing that they're coming in. Like if you know that somebody is approaching, or let's say like you have a friend coming over and you know that they're close to your house, you would open the door, or you would unlock the door, or you know, you would open up your home knowing that they're coming and that you want to invite them in. That's kind of the energy. Like there's no need for you to have your door closed and locked and bolted shut. Open yourself to this energy and know that you energetically opening the door to this energy is more powerful than you can possibly imagine. We're also getting the change oracle card, which makes perfect sense. This change is coming in. You're transforming, you're letting go of those past burdens. You're embracing a more lighthearted energy. And it's like you're finding your way back home. This is also, I spoke on these similar themes in the previous reading. We may lose our way. We may endure heartbreak many times in this life, but we will always have the opportunity to find our way back home and to feel love again, to feel a whole heart again. So this change is happening after a period of struggle, a period of challenges, whether this is just the past month of feeling heavy energy, or whether this was years, maybe even decades of patterns that will no longer endure. Really embrace this lighthearted embodiment and embrace the joy of every step on this staircase. We're also getting the energy and the action card, which are very, energetic, but really powerful movement cards. So with the energy oracle card, it says life force is flowing. Open yourself to receive the power from within. And with the action oracle card, it says stop hesitating. Movement creates the magic. Nothing can hold you back. So this is really encouraging you to tap into what is igniting passion, what is igniting sparks within you of you being able to feel into that life force that flows through you. And maybe chakra work can be helpful for some of this collective, of being able to open up to where in your body you're feeling the energy flow, and to not doubt your ability to create magical change and movement forward. We're also getting the metamorphosis card, which is very fitting with the change card. Trust the process, be patient, really see the beauty in the change, and know that this process cannot be rushed. You're not meant to be traveling up the staircase any faster or any slower. You're exactly where you need to be. And the elegance card is coming out of, again, because we got this in the previous reading as well. This is about gliding through life, seeing the beauty of nature in all that we do. So I want to pull a few more oracle cards from a different deck just to give us some last bits of feedback, but you can see that there's such a beautiful energy of choosing the lighthearted path and choosing to see the beauty in the present moment, in the journey. We have keep your dreams alive and be spontaneous. Yeah, with the energy and the action card that we got before, and this feeling of not hesitating, or this message of not hesitating, and this message of being able to take that action and channel the life force energy through your actions. The be spontaneous card is so fitting with that, because this is about knowing when to take action and to be open to spontaneity. But I actually want to read these cards in order. So I'm going to start with the Keep Your Dreams Alive card. And it says, start to identify plans and actions that will lead you to achieve your dreams and goals. Your dreams can become your reality. So this is exactly what the manifestation card was speaking on, as well as, we literally got the action oracle card. So, this is about you taking that time to really visualize what it is that you're attempting to change in your life. And this may require you to complete some really detailed planning, or this may require you to journal on the big picture of what it is you're hoping to call into your life, both practically, physically, as well as emotionally. Because that, of course, is the key to manifestation, is the emotions, the feelings that we're seeking to feel through that which we want to manifest. But to continue to have that practical approach, because it's only through that action that you'll be able to take those steps towards achieving that which you wish to manifest. So there's this balance between being grounded and having an understanding of the steps that you need to take, the actions you need to take, but also making sure you're channeling into the ideas and the concepts that will keep you in alignment with your soul's highest path. So Now I want to channel into the Be Spontaneous card, because it's easy to lose track of the things that we know bring us joy, or to focus so much on the practical steps, the planning, that we are overly rigid in following a certain plan. And so the Be Spontaneous card is coming out also in alignment, like I said before, with the action and the energy oracle cards, because when that life force is flowing through you, it's important for you to recognize that and act on it. You know, it's like if you get the urge to work on a creative project, but you're in the habit of watching TV or something else, it's on you. It's like your energetic and spiritual responsibility to hear the call of spontaneity and to answer that call and to take action in alignment with what is going to feed into the manifestation of your dreams. And that is how we keep the dreams alive, not just through that practical planning balanced with those big picture concepts that we channel into from divine source energy, but also through the action steps that we actually partake in, many of which will be spontaneous. And spontaneity should be fun. It should bring you joy. It's answering the call to feed and nurture your enthusiasm. You know, the ability to partake in adventures and experience new aspects of life that will bring you fascination and curiosity and joy and appreciation. It's what gets you to engage with life again. So you're not just going through the motions, but you're partaking fully. You're fully engaged. You're fully participating. And you're making aligned decisions based on what will bring you joy and pleasure. And then you just simply, with grace and elegance, see where life takes you from that embodied state and from those aligned actions. So I'm going to leave the reading here. I hope that this helped you feel some sense of hope and inspiration for this new beginning. As we're exiting toxic cycles, we're entering fresh new beginnings with change and momentum and this lighthearted, spontaneous excitement about life. So I would love to hear from you in the comments as always. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.